Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life, and today I am talking about the final step in our Happy Hormone self-care, Happy Hormone Code for this month, and that is move. And this is where we are making sure we're moving and exercising to support our hormones, but getting the right balance for our own bodies, not what someone is telling us we should do. That's someone usually being male and under 40. How much you move significantly affects your hormone balance. Too much sitting and too little moving in general is definitely a hormone disruptor. We want to be avoiding that. But equally, too much exercise can also be a bad thing. Now, exercise is vital for hormone balance. Not only does it help to get the nutrients around the body, but it's also been shown to reduce stress levels and increase your insulin function. Really, really important as we get older. Now, if you get the right balance, it can work brilliantly. If you get it slightly wrong, it can deplete your energy, increase your carb and sugar cravings, and actually make your body hang on to fat even more. And that's, particularly for those of you that have ever started going to the gym or a fitness routine and wondered why you weren't losing weight. This is probably why. So let's have a look at how movement or lack of it can affect your feisty four hormones, the cortisol, insulin, thyroid, and estrogen. So first of all, with cortisol, so lack of movement, like I said, or too much sitting is a stress on the body. Circulation reduces, metabolism slows down, fat storing shoots up. So the right amount of regular exercise is really important to help reduce stress and improve mood, but too much exercise, like I said, is a stress on the body as well. So exercise raises cortisol, and that's natural, but too much exercise when your energy reserves aren't enough can cause too much cortisol over time, and it's just too much for the body to deal with. So over-exercising can increase the risk of muscle loss as well, increased infections, increased risk of injury, fatigue, and poor recovery. So you need enough time between exercise sessions to recover properly and reduce that stress response, to switch it off. Now, if you're a gym bunny or addicted to long cardio, you need to take more rest if your hormones are out of whack, or maybe switch to a gentler form of exercise if your energy reserves just aren't there. Secondly is insulin. Exercise has a really good effect on how insulin works. Now, exercise increases your cell's response to insulin, something called sensitivity. And that's really, really important, as it means that insulin can get into your cells to deliver the sugar it's carrying, and to stop so that the cell can take it in and use it as energy. When insulin can't get into the cell because the receptor isn't very sensitive, it means you can get something called insulin resistance, and that is the precursor to diabetes. We don't want that happening. Plus the fact that insulin is going to go around the body wondering what to do with the sugar and ends up storing it as fat. So double whammy is why we don't want insulin resistance happening. Third thing exercise helps with is your thyroid. So a sluggish circulation can really stop the nutrients getting around your body and working properly. So lack of exercise can slow down your metabolism, increase your fat to muscle ratio, and really inhibit your thyroid and your fat burning ability. So weight training resistance work can really help to build the muscle, and muscles burns more energy than fat. So that helps your thyroid and your metabolism. Lastly, estrogen. So studies have shown that exercise actually helps to reduce your risk of breast cancer by reducing the amount of those more dangerous estrogen metabolites in the body. However, extreme exercise can increase cortisol and lower estrogen too far, and that can disrupt your cycle and weaken your bones. So there's pros and cons to exercise. So what is the right type and amount of activity for hormone balance? Well, actually, that's going to depend on your own individual needs, your own health, your history, and your circumstances. But let's have a quick look at some of the best activities for hormone balance. First one is walking. Very underrated. I'm a massive fan of walking. It's easy to do, it's cheap, you don't need a gym membership or any equipment, and it has huge, huge benefits. Check out another blog of mine on walking for more on that. Secondly, yoga. Oh, by the way, also walking, when if you do it out in nature, you're getting the added benefit of stress reduction and mood enhancement too, so you get double whammy. Secondly, yoga and Pilates. These kind of more gentle, well, my yoga's not that gentle actually, but less cardio, more strength, flexibility, ticking all the boxes for hormones, because actually you're very mindful doing these classes or activities because you're really concentrating on the poses and whatever else you need to do. So very mindful, good for stress reduction, good for mood, and strength and flexibility is kind of all-round benefits. Next is weights and resistance work. Obviously, our muscle mass declines as we age, pretty rapid rate if you don't do any weights or strength training. So strength training is going to help with that. It's going to help lower your risk of osteoporosis. And it's, like I said, going to retain that muscle as much as possible as we get older, because we do lose it quickly. Next form of exercise is the high intensity interval training, or HIIT training, or burst training, or whatever you like to call it. And that's been shown to burn more fat more effectively than kind of aerobic type exercises. It kind of strengthens your lungs and heart. It also increases something called human growth hormone that we have a lot of when we're younger, but declines pretty rapidly as we age. Also helps to improve insulin sensitivity as well. Really good for your weight and your risk of disease later. However, high intensity does mean it is high intensity. So if you're not fit, or you have any joint issues, or you have any health conditions, then do not try high intensity unless you get the go-ahead from your doctor. Next is, actually the last thing we need to look at is general movement. So I'm talking about various activities that are related to official exercise, but actually there's this thing called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's a bit of a mouthful, but scientists are really excited about this whole area where it's all about movement. It's not official exercise, so it's non-exercise, but it's still activity. So it's anything that you're doing that's not sitting on a chair or formal exercise. So it's walking about, cooking, gardening, standing up, doing anything, going up the stairs, whatever you're doing that's not formal exercise, but you're not sitting down. So this has been proven to general movement increases your metabolism, your basic metabolic rate. So that means we're burning more calories than we would sitting down. It's kind of obvious, but we don't probably think about it as actually part of our activity, our physical activity. So that's really, really important. So if you don't do much exercise, or you can't do much exercise for any reason, then just moving about generally is really, really going to help. And lastly, we cannot skip this particular bit on, we have to look after our pelvic floor and our core as we get older. So one of my personal recommendations is the Mootoo System. It's run by a friend of mine, Wendy Powell. Mootoo stands for Mummy Tummy, short for Mummy Tummy. And it's a one-stop exercise program to strengthen your core, strengthen your pelvic floor, and keep you fit in a really safe way so that you're not getting injured. So it's a program that I follow regularly. It's all online, so you can do it in your own home. I do it in the lounge. I absolutely love it. I'm going to put the link down below for you to go check that out. Now, I haven't included endurance type cardio in my list of best exercise for hormone balance. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There are massive benefits to cardio work. Just doesn't make it into my top 5 if you're trying to balance your hormones after 40, and if you've got any kind of hormone imbalances. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing at all. And if it makes you feel good and you enjoy it, then absolutely, I've got nothing against it. It just doesn't work for me because I've got dodgy hips. And, I think, you can get more prone to injury. But if you have the energy for it, you're not getting regular injuries, and you're not suffering from adrenal issues like adrenal fatigue, then, that is perfectly good. As a very basic rule, if exercise recharges your energy levels, for me, that's an indication that it's doing you good and you feel good afterwards. If you feel exhausted and depleted afterwards, it may be taxing your adrenals a little bit too much and using up vital energy reserves that you just haven't got going spare. So best to do some kind of more gentle stuff until your reserves are more topped up and you can handle it. Hope that was helpful. And if you need any personalized support with your hormones, do message me and book in a free call, and I'll see you next time.